Justin Gaethje just defeated Ilia Topuria by round 4 TKO to corner stoppage at UFC Freedom 250 on the White House lawn, and is now the undisputed lightweight world champion at 37 years old. I can't believe I'm saying these things. I thought Strickland's upset against Chimaev was going to be enough this year for the MMA gods to start making logic true once again in this sport, but no. Justin Gaethje puts a whooping on Ilia Topuria. Fair enough, survives a nightmarish round 2, but I had Justin Gaethje winning this fight 3 rounds to 1. It wasn't even like Ilia Topuria was clearly ahead the whole fight and Justin Gaethje just broke him in round 4 and then Ilia Topuria quits on the stall. I had Gaethje up 3 rounds to 1. I thought he won the first round very clear. It was competitive. Ilia was landing big shots. What am I saying? What am I saying? The whole card was insane. But to finish like this, I can't wait to break down the rest of the card. But this fight, Ilia comes out, he's wandering into jabs like he's never boxed a day in his life.
Things went down this evening at the White House, and then Monday, in just a few hours time, we'll do the regular show and give you the regular breakdown. Justin Gaethje is the undisputed champion of the UFC. This is a shocking result, and I have to apologize because I don't usually make picks, and I was quite confident in my pick. I thought Ilia Topuria was going to win. Justin Gaethje won that fight fair and square. It appears as though Ilia's corner called off the fight going into the 5th round, and it looked like going into the 4th round the doctor was going to call it off. In fact, it seems as though he did actually call it off at one point. He shook his head, he said Ilia couldn't see, and then Mark Goddard almost like convinced him to keep it going. It was a weird thing. They gave him more time. Seemed a little bit odd, but in the end the right man won. Justin Gaethje looked a lot bigger at 155 than Ilia. Justin Gaethje can take a punch. In the first round, when Ilia was hitting him like a Mack truck, Gaethje was taking the shots. No one takes those shots from Ilia, and Ilia was wearing some damage, and all of a sudden, he's bleeding, and all of a sudden he's getting rocked, and all of a sudden he's cut, and all of a sudden he's swelling, and all of a sudden he can't see. And we've never seen him compromised like that before. We've never seen him in trouble, struggling like that before.
To sit there going wow, wow, wow after watching this, and all night we said, if there's a setting for an American fighter to just spring the greatest upset of we've seen in a long time, tonight's the night.
Can you no. It's almost like he's trying to nut it, and that'll do it.
Yeah, Justin Gaethje.
Holy shit!
I don't want to wake up Harley, but holy shit. Oh, don't hurt yourself. You riding Gaethje because he's your homie. Shut the fuck up. I'm riding him because he got heavy hands and he got a strong ass jaw.
Sean O'Malley celebrates with fans after a UFC White House win.
Quando eu falei, todo mundo falou que eu tava louco. Eu falei, ninguém quis acreditar, falaram que eu tava doido. Tá aí, ó.
Now that the fight between Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje is over, people have started looking at how it might actually play out compared to what experts expected. Before the fight, some believed Topuria's sharp boxing, timing, and confidence would be too much for Gaethje to handle, especially in close-range exchanges. Others felt Gaethje's power, pressure, and experience could make things dangerous if he forced a brawl and landed clean shots early. In the end, it all came down to those early predictions and how they matched up once both styles collided inside the octagon. Demetrius Johnson strongly backed Ilia Topuria before the fight and believed the biggest reason was his flawless execution inside the cage. He pointed to Topuria's recent knockouts of Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira, saying nobody else had managed to finish those elite fighters in such devastating fashion. Johnson praised Ilia's boxing combinations, calm decision-making, and ability to make adjustments after getting hit. In his view, Topuria always knew exactly what he wanted to do and carried out his game plan with incredible precision.
Now, Ilia Topuria, he has a way of going into the fight, getting himself in a position, and being able to execute flawlessly. You saw him do something that nobody's been able to do before. He was able to knock out Max Holloway. He was able to knock out Charles Oliveira in the first round. He is a finisher with beautiful combinations of boxing. He also can wrestle, and he doesn't really throw any high kicks or any body kicks. It's all calf kicks. He has a way about going about his fights, and he knows what he needs to do, and he's able to execute. And he has fought before, and he's been hurt, and he's been able to make adjustments in the fight and be able to finish that opponent.
Johnson admitted he could not even think of many adjustments for Topuria because he considered his fight IQ exceptionally high. Unlike a matchup with Charles Oliveira, where grappling posed a major threat, he felt Gaethje's preferred weapons overlapped with Topuria's own strengths. Since both men like to strike, Johnson believed Ilia simply performed that style at a much higher level. That comparison made it difficult for him to imagine Gaethje consistently getting the better of the exchanges.
Key to victory number 2 for there's not really key to victories for Ilia Topuria. I feel there is no key to victories for Ilia Topuria because he knows what he needs to do, right? I feel when I look at Ilia Topuria, like his IQ shines where when I watch him, he just knows what he needs to do. So that's why I can't give him any keys to victory, because when I do these keys to victory, I think all the athletes watch this and I'm talking to them directly, where I see a threat from Justin Gaethje, but that threat from Justin Gaethje is where Ilia Topuria shines the most, right? Like with Charles Oliveira, the key to victory for Charles Oliveira, a key to victory for Ilia Topuria against Charles Oliveira, don't get taken down. Don't allow him to be on your back, body triangle. Don't allow him to keep, the teep. And when he falls down, don't allow him just to get up. Engage in the grappling. Where Justin Gaethje doesn't use those tools that Charles Oliveira does. Justin Gaethje's tools that he likes to go and build a house with is the same tool that Ilia Topuria does, and Ilia Topuria does it better. So, with all that being said, I'm sure you guys know where I'm gonna go with.
Despite recognizing Gaethje's abilities, Tim Welch admitted that his heart wanted Justin to win for emotional reasons. He imagined Gaethje ending his career with a memorable victory in front of his family on the White House lawn and called it a dream scenario. Still, Welch understood that wishing for something and predicting it were two different things. Welch explained why he considered the fight so challenging for Gaethje by pointing to flaws in Justin's striking defense. He said Gaethje often brought his hands back too low, ducked in predictable ways, and left openings that elite boxers could exploit. Those habits worried Welch because Topuria excelled at punishing defensive mistakes with precise counters.
A lot of people did not think he'd beat Paddy Pimblett, and he did. It's going to be his last fight of his career on the White House lawn. Boy, do I want more than anything Justin Gaethje to win. I want him to win. Stand in front of his family, American, and cheer and just be like, yeah! Last fight ever. A man can dream. A man can dream. This is a tough fight. If you go watch my breakdown where it's Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett, you can see why I think it's such a tough fight, because Paddy Pimblett's hands, Justin Gaethje's hands come back to his armpits. He ducks a lot. In his normal stance, his chin's kind of above his shoulders. There's ways for him to win. There is ways for Justin Gaethje to win. Justin Gaethje's wrestling is very underrated. He throws nasty head kicks. He throws powers. There's ways for Justin to win. I just don't think it's going to be this one.
He also warned fans against becoming overconfident with their own predictions. Welch reminded everyone that mixed martial arts used 4-ounce gloves where one clean punch could instantly change everything. If people were truly 100% certain about the outcome, he joked that they should bet their house on it. After considering every possibility, Welch ultimately picked Ilia Topuria to win the fight by TKO. He believed Topuria's precision, confidence, and overall skill set would eventually overwhelm Gaethje, despite the veteran's dangerous offense. While he acknowledged Justin had routes to victory, he expected Ilia to find the finishing sequence before Gaethje could land his own fight-changing shot.
And you think something's gonna happen, and if you guys are all so sure, you're so sure, like 100%, that Ilia's gonna win, why, bet some fucking search, bet your house on it then. I'm not that sure. I'm not that sure with 4-ounce gloves. Someone can hit as hard as Justin Gaethje and is as explosive as him. There's ways for him to win. I think Ilia Topuria does get it done though. I think he gets it done by TKO. Boy, what a treat.
Israel Adesanya said watching Topuria's Road to the White House series only made him appreciate the champion even more. He was impressed by Ilia's disciplined training, lightning-fast reactions, and smart shot selection, especially during moments where he instantly countered after defending takedowns. Beyond his skills, Adesanya admired the way Topuria carried himself outside the cage, believing his confidence, polished image, and unique identity were all backed up by performances that consistently proved he belonged among the sport's elite.
Volk is the greatest, in my book, featherweight of all time. So for him to do that, I was like, okay, this guy's serious. I got myself watching Ilia's Road to the White House over the last few weeks, and I just wanted to watch how this guy handles his day-to-day or training or what kind of stuff he's doing, because again, he's providing results. And I watched the way he hits pads. I've seen some of his sparring clips. There's a bit where he sprawls and then straight away head, like he went hook to the head and body in an instant. That kind of reaction time, that kind of awareness, that kind of, you know, again, shot selection is just levels above where a lot of people are right now. And he's proven it time and time again with his resume, you know, and the aesthetics. And one thing I like, Hobo Life, you know, that's my hashtag. You click on that, you see me in a lot of posts, because I like to just be like, you know, me. But I've never seen this guy like just look even scruffy. Definitely took from the McGregor playbook, but he's taken to his own flavor with the rose and his aesthetic, because he knows who he is and he's got the skill set that backs it up. He always just looks ready, like he's just constantly like photo ready, like a Kardashian. And it's because he's taking it to the next level. He wants to be like the guy that's...
Adesanya gave Gaethje plenty of respect, calling him fearless and one of the few fighters genuinely willing to risk everything inside the cage. He believed Justin's wrestling, powerful combinations, and especially his brutal leg kicks could create problems by slowing Topuria's movement. If Justin committed to that strategy, it might create openings later in the fight. Even so, Adesanya never sounded fully convinced that it would be enough, believing Topuria possessed too many answers and too much adaptability to be easily neutralized. Even though he leaned toward Topuria, Brendan Schaub admitted Gaethje still had paths to victory. He suggested Justin could use leg kicks, dirty boxing, and cage pressure to slow the pace and potentially set up a knockout. He also referenced Gaethje's past kicking game from his World Series of Fighting days as a tool that could surprise Ilia if used effectively. However, he made it clear that these were narrow and risky paths against a fighter of Topuria's level. Schaub ultimately described the matchup as a nightmare for Gaethje, saying that Topuria's combination of youth, speed, and precision made him a heavy favorite in his eyes. Still, he admitted he was rooting for Justin because an upset would create one of the biggest moments in UFC history, especially given the magnitude of the event. Despite the emotional appeal of a Gaethje win, his official prediction stayed with Ilia Topuria to get the job done. Joe Rogan wasn't too pessimistic about Gaethje's chances. Still, he had his opinion. Considering the performance of Ilia Topuria lately, Rogan highlighted that this fighter has already defeated some of the best-known competitors in the sport, namely Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira. Rogan paid attention to their physical difference, emphasizing that Gaethje is physically bigger than Ilia. Nevertheless, Rogan couldn't forget about what he saw himself in Topuria's fights. He recalled how dangerous Oliveira was in his matches with elite opponents, yet Ilia easily handled him. The clearest prediction came when Rogan described what a Justin Gaethje victory would mean. Rather than predicting Gaethje would win, Joe repeatedly framed that outcome as one of the greatest upsets in MMA history. He explained that if Justin were able to beat a prime Topuria after everything he has accomplished, it would be an unbelievable ending to his career. By calling a Gaethje victory a miracle-level upset, Rogan essentially signaled that he believes Topuria should be the favorite going into the fight. Dustin Poirier talked about how hard it was to deal with Ilia's range, saying that even when fighters found some success, it usually came in the boxing range, but Ilia controlled that space so well that he barely allowed it. And that was where it got dangerous, because once he got into range, he had that touch of death, as Dustin put it, where one clean shot could change everything. What made it even more impressive to him was that Ilia was not even a big lightweight, but he still put people out like that, which showed it was not about size, but his technique, timing, and confidence. Dustin also pointed toward Ilia's mindset and overall skill set, saying his confidence was on another level, and it showed in how he performed. He noted that Ilia was not just a striker, since he was good at grappling as well, which made it even more difficult to face him since there was nowhere safe to take the fight. Dustin respected Justin's fighting skills, but knew he would always get the chance. These were the predictions from the experts before the fight, each offering their own take on how it would all play out. But now that the dust has settled, what about you? Did your favorite fighter come out on top, or did things turn out differently than you expected? Share your thoughts and tell us who you had winning in the comments below.